What's up, guys? Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. I'm getting my notes pulled up. I'm just 2 minutes late, so that's not terrible. Rough start. I don't know. I almost canceled this. I gotta pause that so I don't start hearing myself talk. Wife went back to work for the first time today after 3 months of being off for having a kid. I don't know if you can hear him. Like, I've had him sleeping, but she had a couple meetings, so I was trying to do the podcast sooner, and I'm getting stuff ready, by the way, as I'm talking. Tried to do it sooner. Then of course, he wakes up at 12:10. So I'm trying my best to get him to go back to sleep. Won't go back to sleep. So I was just gonna hold him, and then of course, as soon as I almost start to hit the live button, he loses his shit. So it's go out there and can you watch him for a second, or do I cancel it? And she's like, I'll just watch him for a second. But I know it's not the right answer. So I don't know, guys. I don't know how this is going to go, unfortunately. But let's get this over with so I can get back out there and get back to dad duty. I'm trying to find where the hell my notes are. I kind of just hopped in here. But hopefully everybody can hear me all right. I see I got a couple people in here. I had retweeted this, I know, as well. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's get going. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hopefully too, this definitely says best bets. Oh, it says Monday now. I changed it. I forgot I had it on Saturday. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, drop it in the chat there. I appreciate when you guys, interact or whatever. I don't know if it helps or not if you guys interact, but it's definitely nice, nice to see that stuff or whatever. So trying to do my thing here. All right, I'll get going. Going into podcast view. And as usual, if this is your first time in here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's down there in the bottom left of the video. I was trying to get to 100. I'm 7 away. Like the video, all that stuff. I'm sure it helps out. And, if like I said, if there's your first time in here, I'm about to, hit record for the podcast and, do it just like the podcast. And there's the beforehand and then the afterwards that people can ask questions or interact. I can, try to interact, afterwards. And, if you had prop questions or side questions or anything like that, so, but definitely gonna be focused on the, college football for today. So here we go. What's up, and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number one gambling podcast for quick picks, now live on YouTube as well. Today is Monday, 1/8, and we have the national championship. We have the very last college football game for the rest of the, well, not for the rest of the year, right? Because we'll have something back in August, late August, and what they call week 0. But we have our last game for 7 months, almost 8 months or so. So we'll, in the Discord here, I'm going to definitely make sure I maximize. I got 5 plays picked out. Today we have 3 plays, but we will unfortunately take a look and see what we did yesterday, and it was not very good. I don't know what I was thinking giving out an extra play on week 18, but we want to enjoy it. I'm a fan at least first, and then, I do this other things, Our only play that hit was Justin Jefferson over 100 yards. He ended at 192. That wasn't necessarily my favorite play. My favorite was the Justin Fields over 264 pass plus rush. And I just don't understand how teams utilize their weapons at times. Justin Fields had a pretty good first half. He did not throw the ball in the third quarter. What? How does that make sense? His first pass in the fourth quarter, I think it made him maybe he was not, I don't know. He was almost perfect, I think, nearly going into halftime. He didn't throw the ball. They wanted to run. Obviously that game didn't mean anything to him, but you would think they would have had some kind of, they were able to move the ball. And even on my side, I did a little builder play. I needed him to have 150 yards and he fell 2 yards short of that. We missed on Hopkins. He finished in the high 40s. He had 7 catches and didn't go over his yards. What? Then Desmond Ridder, I loved the bet. Like I said, every single mobile quarterback, and Ridder himself had gone over 30 yards against the Saints, just didn't run. They just didn't have a chance. The Falcons fired Arthur Smith. The Saints just destroyed them. So we go up 1-3. Cap off the day. The same day, like I said, in the Discord, I had 3 bets lose on one leg, and they were all bets where DK Metcalf had his worst performance of the week. Of the year. Tua had his worst performance of the year. Fields misses by 2 yards. I mean, it was just stupid stuff. So we're gonna move on. I hear my wife, yelling at my oldest that I'm supposed to be looking after too. So definitely got to try to time this a little better. I don't know. He has been an angel for me. But first play, all like I said, national championship. First play is going to be Jalen Polk over 3.5 receptions. You can find this on like every book. FanDuel has the best odds on it. If you look at his game log, and that's all I really have notes wise. And in today's podcast, I don't know. It may be a little shorter here. Just as I am a little rushed, unfortunately. I wish I had more time. But at the same time, though, like I said, some of my plays don't have a whole lot of stats outside of this props. When you're on a side, there's not a whole lot of stats to go along with it. He has had 3 or more catches in every single game this year. The first game against Boise on September 2nd, he had 3 catches for 101 yards. So his yardage could be a pretty good look. He's kind of up and down. He's had plenty of over 100 yards game. His line isn't very high, like in the 40s, maybe the 50s, but he's more of like the number 2, maybe a number 2, more of like a number 3 type receiver. Anyway, he's had 3. That was his lowest. 3 was his lowest, and that was the very first game of the year. He had one other game where he was at 4. Every other game before then, 5, 5, 8, 5, 6, 9, 5, 5, 4, 5, and 5. 5 in the against Oregon, 5 in the first round of the playoffs or whatever the heck bowl you call it, against Texas. So over 3.5 is something he's done in every single game. He's got a 100% hit rate this year. I think that Dylan Johnson's a little banged up. They're going to be passing the ball maybe a little more often, and it just. Hey, if it loses, and this is the first time it loses, I'm going to be like one of those like, oh, of course the time we bet it. Of course that's what I'm going to say. But 100% hit rate, it's got good odds on it. I'll take it. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought it was 2. Let me actually look at this real fast. Because it's not a 100% hit rate. I'm just sitting here just realizing he had 3 in his first game. Let me make sure I didn't, if it's not 2.5 and I'm not crazy. It is 3.5. So it's a very, very good. I'm sorry. I take that back. It's not a 100% hit rate. My fault. But it is still excellent. The only miss that he had was in the very first game of the year. It was a 56-19 blowout. Obviously, I don't know what the passing looked like. I don't know if they started running more often. I don't know if they pulled people. But this is obviously going to be a much closer game, and I like his chances here and a hit rate that I'm sure is in the 90%, if not a high 89 or something like that. Second play is going to be... What's up, buddy? It's all right. Welcome, my son. I forgot to close the door. Hey, is that Dad on the camera? Go. The second play is going to be Washington first quarter plus 1.5. It's a rough day. It's a rough day in the household. Oh, I gotta go apologize after this. Where am I at? Washington was in the first quarter, the 7th highest scoring team. Michigan was the 14th highest. You have Washington averaging 9.8 points per quarter. Well, for the first quarter, Michigan at 8.8. I don't have a ton on this one. I didn't go back and look at every single game, see how often they were up or how often they were tied or anything like that. I know that Washington scores on their first drive at a pretty high clip. They do a really, really, really good job of scripting their first plays, and more often than not, you see them score on their first drive in every game. I love this bet because if you really break it down, there are 4 ways that the first quarter can end. We could have a 0-0, 3-3, 7-7, 14-14 if we have a wild game. If it ends in a tie, we win our bet. Michigan could be up 7-6. Maybe Michigan scored, Washington scored, they missed the PAT. Maybe Michigan scores first, Washington goes down there quick, kicks a field goal, turnover, another kick field goal. I don't know. Maybe it ends 7-6, we win our bet. Michigan could be up more than 1.5, we lose our bet. Or Washington could be winning, outright, obviously, at the end of the first quarter. we win our bet. So there's 3 out of 4 chances here that we're going to win, which is, you math majors out there, that's 75%. If you take down a spread bet like the 4.5 we have out here today, there is a 50-50 chance of us hitting this bet. That's just the way the odds work. That's the way that gambling works for the most part. And so that's why parlays and stuff get a little crazy, because you have a lower chance of winning because you have more legs on there. A straight bet is a 50-50 chance. This straight bet has a 75% chance to hit. This is a bet that you have to take at all times. I think Washington's a better team. I think Washington's going to win the game. I think they have a better offense. I think they start fast. I think whatever, a tie, a win, or losing, by 1 point has us all winning this bet. Love it. Washington over 1.5 for the spread in the first quarter. I will say too, like DraftKings, depending on what book you want to take it at, like I almost use that for the FanDuel 30% boost, but I have a Discord exclusive type play for that. Well, I mean, it's a teaser for the most part, like a total and a spread. I'm gonna boost, I think, with it. But DraftKings has a mystery boost. You get a 25, a 50, or 100%. I got 100%, of course. I actually have an idea for the 100% that I'm gonna probably just post on Twitter, because I really can't claim that as like a VIP, put 100, put a unit on this when not everybody has it. It'd be kind of unfair. But very lastly, the last play is going to be Washington plus 4.5. I feel pretty good about the money line. However, I'm going to go ahead and play it safe, take the plus 4.5. I was on that. Obviously, when they played Texas, we won that bet as well. Do you guys remember? And, if you're in the chat here, you're more than welcome to let me know what you think about that. There seems to be a lot of Michigan people out there. That's not me, right? I'm not a Michigan fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan, actually. Do you guys remember the last time that Penix played Michigan? ? He was with IU. I remember him back in his IU days. When he last played Michigan, I believe it was the COVID year, he had 342 pass yards and 3 touchdowns with IU caliber receivers. He was up 24-7 at halftime. Do you guys think that Washington has better receivers? I sure do. Obviously, it's a different team, and you can say that all the time, but it's the same quarterback. He's played this team before. He knows what this defense looks like. This Michigan defense has been pretty good for a while. Some of those people could still be some of the people that are still around, Penix can just throw the hell out of the ball. He has amazing wide receiver room. If Washington gets up, Michigan is just not built to come back. There's no way. Like, I think they're going to want to try to run the ball with Blake Corum, and you can't do that when you're down like 2 touchdowns. And if every time Washington gets the ball, like they're moving it into scoring position. Like, I don't know if you guys watched that game, but Penix was just dropping dimes. I mean, like, and then you say, like, can he be that dead on again? I don't know. I sure as hell hope so, because I think it's going to be a fantastic game. He looked just incredible. He looked incredible. Michigan has not seen an offense like Washington this year. You might argue that Ohio State is good, but honestly, neither team could do anything, obviously, against each other. The Pac-12 is a stronger conference, I feel, than that Washington's played some solid competitors compared to like the Big Ten. You might say, well, Jort, Blake Corum's going to run all over him. Well, Texas and Oregon 2 times ran the ball pretty successfully against Washington. Washington won both of those games. Even if Blake Corum runs all over him, the Washington's offense is fantastic. Michigan also tore up the Bama O-line, but Washington has a pretty good, damn good offensive line, giving up just 11 sacks on the year. And a team that's throwing the ball nearly 40 times a game, that's a hell of a success rate, if you ask me, and giving up just 11 sacks when they're dropping back that many times. Washington's faced this good of a defense plenty of times. Washington's faced the top 25 defense 4 times this year. Guess how many games Washington won? I mean, that's an easy answer, right? Because they're undefeated. Every game. Penix threw in those games 1,400 combined yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. There's none of this that, like, and I seen something that somebody said, like, oh, like Washington hasn't played anybody or whatever. No, like Michigan has not played a caliber of team that Washington is, in my opinion. I mean, I hope Washington just destroys them. I am going to have on Twitter at Live Joe Bets. I've been doing a daily 10K plus odd. We almost hit the Georgia, whoever they played. We almost had that. We were one leg away from over a plus 10,000 odd hit. I'm going to do another one in this game. I hope it's a back and forth. I hope there's a lot of offense. That's perfectly fine because that's going to be good. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. But to recap here, so I can get back to being the teacher and the babysitter. First play, Jalen Polk over 3.5 receptions. Second is going to be Washington first quarter plus 1.5. And then lastly, it's Washington plus 4.5. These are going to be the 3 podcast plays. If you are a member of the Discord, I've got a lot queued up for you. It's going to be a great day. If you're not and you're listening to this before the game, in the bottom, in the description underneath the chat here, I have some clickable links. At least they should be. And you can check out more information on joining. It's obviously it's worth it. I have been positive every single month for a year now, and I'm going on my 13th in a row. My name is Joe. As always, Lunchtime in the Lab will be brought to you each and every day. Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow me on all social medias at Live Joe Bets. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel yet, go ahead and head over to youtube.com/lunchtime. That's at Lunchtime in the Lab. I don't know if I did that. I don't know if that's built in, but it's at Lunchtime in the Lab. Go ahead and subscribe to me. If you are looking at it, the channel right now, be sure to please subscribe. If you're looking at it later, please be sure to subscribe. I'm going to get out of here, close this out on the podcast. I got just one question in here that I'll answer real quick before I hop out of the live chat on YouTube. And I appreciate you guys. Hopefully we have ourselves a better day than we did yesterday. But it's college football, and I think we are definitely going to. And I'm excited to see what the recap brings tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, and get ready for that last day of college football. Okay, the wife is... apparently, the kids are, acting up like crazy all of a sudden as soon as I get in here. One of the plays that I'm going to have is a pulled down over. My biggest fear is Michigan really shuts down Washington, and then Michigan likes to get in these slow, limited possessions, play keep away from Washington. So the lean would certainly be over because that's the way I want the game to go. However, we could end up with a Michigan style. We're just going to run the ball 37 times with both of our running backs and kind of go from there. So I would lean over, but it does scare me a little bit. But that is a side that I'm going to be on in that teaser. Washington team total over 24.5. The play that I'm thinking about doing was 20.5 because I had a 100% boost and that's minus 200. That seems low, to be honest, though, if you look at what they've scored. And if you look at what Michigan's done in the last 3, which I don't have, I'll pull it up real fast. Let's see. Scoring defense, opponents' points per game. Michigan's obviously the highest, but they allowed 20 to Bama, 0 to Iowa, but that doesn't count. 24 to Ohio State, 24 to Maryland. So in the last 4 games, they've given up 24, 24, 0, and 20. But really in their last 3 games, because once again, Iowa doesn't count. They don't know how to score against anybody. 24, 24, and 20. So they have not given up more than that. However, I guess I would ask, do you think that Washington's offense is better than Maryland, Ohio State, or Alabama's? I would say yes, it's better than all 3 of those. So I would certainly lean at 24.5 being a pretty good number, to be honest. TBH. All right. I appreciate the interaction. Thank you so much for the questions. I would like to sit here all day and talk. And if there was a ton of you guys asking questions, I certainly would. But I'm going to hop out of here and go continue what I was doing, get this posted around, and I'll see you guys back again tomorrow. Hopefully. The days will get better. Today's just the first day. We'll figure it out. I'm glad that she helped me out, and I hope I didn't just ruin it. And she thinks we need a babysitter and stuff all of a sudden. We'll see. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Lunchtime in the Lab every day. See ya.